All your base are belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Welcome to Gamers Digest. We
Welcome.
are a gaming show. I'm trying to change it up. You guys
Well,
are making fun of me
yeah.
of saying the same thing every time.
But you know, we do gaming news, rumors, and anything else you can think of.
Could you say that more condescending? Have a little passion. We do talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else that goes on in the gaming universe. Because we are a universe now. They have found life on
64
Mars.
episodes of our.
Yeah, well, okay.
Did that really happen?
No, I'm just.
I didn't find out about the. I mean, this is kind of current events, but like the whole massacre thing. I didn't
the
find
naval.
Out. Yeah, I didn't find that out until like earlier.
Until you tried to go to the naval base, you're like, whoa, I wanted some tacos.
Yeah, it's weird. I was just out of touch yesterday.
All right. Well,
Today was a big day in gaming.
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto 5
it
came out.
I picked it up.
Oh, nice.
I did.
Did you
pick
play
it up.
any yet?
I did. I actually found that I had some GameStop credit, so I ended
Okay.
up picking it up for like $30.
Okay, that's cool.
Actually, I picked up the special edition for $30, and that one's normally
Ooh.
$79.
Ooh.
So they had one left, and I was like, man, you guys are really like winching it, like the special edition. And I actually have it. I brought it, but I
just gonna go grab it. Now I'm gonna.
You're gonna talk.
Yeah. Did it come with the whole duffel bag and all that, or was that?
No, that's like the super mega ultra $1 million wub wub edition. But there it
There
is.
it is.
Steel
Nice.
case. But like, look at this. Like it
Wow.
came with. I'm trying to get it on camera. Oh, ripped it.
Oh.
Oh, there goes that money. But look at that.
Look at that map.
That is insane.
Reminds me of San Andreas.
It looks just like it. So yeah, I mean, it came with like all this stuff, like add-ons. Like it came with a second map.
Okay, that's cool.
So we won't want to unfold that one, but because you can't really see it because it's green.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I did actually get to play it a little bit, and it so far it's pretty cool. Like I like the dynamic of changing characters, but I haven't done too much of the story because there's so much to do in that game. Like I've literally done like 2 missions,
Okay.
and then I went and played a round of golf, and then I played
Cool.
a 5 set of tennis, and then I
Wow.
went and played some darts, and then I basically tricked out a few cars.
That's pretty cool.
And then I screwed around on the iPhone app, because there is an iPhone app,
Wow.
where you can train your dog, and it affects him in-game.
Wow.
Like, if you train, it's like a Tamagotchi. Like, if you train him and love him and stuff, in the game, he's more responsive and he's
That's
better.
cool. That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, it is like the
See, that's what I like about Rockstar and their Grand Theft Auto games. There's so much attention to detail for those little things
Mhm.
that makes the gameplay experience a lot better.
I do have to say that, that was almost going to knock on my drink. The 2 characters I've met so far, Michael and Franklin. Which is Michael is kind of like the middle-aged business guy,
Yeah.
ex-bank robber, and Franklin is the
Yeah,
black guy.
Yeah.
I haven't met the crazy guy yet.
Yeah. He seems like he'd be an interesting character.
He shows up in like the very beginning as in a flashback,
Okay.
because basically the game starts like 9 years prior, and you're Michael, Trevor, which is the other guy,
Mhm.
and some other guy.
Okay.
He dies, so he's
Okay.
not important. Spoilers.
Uh-oh.
The no-name guy dies at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, the 2 characters I've met so far are portrayed really well. Like they already have a sense of depth, and like where I stopped in the mission is kind of right after that turning moment where they're kind of like, oh crap, now we need to do stuff, because like Franklin wants to get out of the hood. Like he is basically CJ from
CJ.
3.
Okay.
He wants that better life. He doesn't want to be like a gangbanger.
He
his
wants
whole
to
life.
race to the top, start
Right.
from the bottom.
Right. Whereas Michael has done that. Like he's lived that life. He's been a bank robber his whole life, and now he wants to retire. And then something happens that brings Franklin into Michael's life, and then something happens in Michael's life that basically makes him have to go back to robbing banks.
Interesting.
and I'm guessing that's where Trevor comes in.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'll definitely talk more about it. I'll probably do a full review. I want to wait a couple weeks because I want to do the online, which Rockstar was kind enough not to release for 2 weeks, so people can play the main story.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool and smart of them, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah. I decided to wait because I know the game will still be there.
Right.
You know, because I'm working on a project and there are some things that I would need to purchase in order to get some things, get the ball rolling on a couple things. I'm like, you know what? Let me get that out of the way, and then maybe later on down the line, I might be able to pick it up on sale or something. Because I remember when Halo 4 came out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it came out around November or whatever, and like it was on sale, you know, not that far after. So I'll wait a little while. I can wait. The game will still be there.
See, I bought it inversely because I don't want to wait on it. Not because I want to play the game that badly, but like we did mention last week, this will be our last show for a few weeks because we are moving. And after we move, the budget's going to be a little tighter because the place we're moving to is a little nicer, a little bigger, and a little more expensive. So our budget gets a little tighter.
Yeah.
So we're not. I mean, we're still gonna have personal money to spend and stuff like that. Like we're not sweating out the pockets.
Like, just get it now.
Right.
Know.
Get it while I have a little bit extra money, and this game is big enough that it'll hold me well into after we move.
Yeah.
Plus, this is a good game. Like when we move, if I have any downtime, which is rare, but if I do, I won't need internet to play it. So,
cool.
I also did Final Fantasy 14. Still playing that a good bit. I actually have the review for that today.
Cool.
It's such a big game that I didn't do like a pre-rendered review. Mostly because I was gonna do it last night and we watched a horrible movie instead.
Yeah.
But I think I can just
cool. Wing it. That's what I'm gonna do today.
Yeah, I know. You were like, yeah, I guess I'll review this game.
Yeah.
Which game is that?
I played Fuse over the weekend because I was doing some research for a project that I'm working on, and I thought it might be able to help me out. And I got it for real dirt cheap. And I played Fuse. I remember I talked about it. I played a demo a while back when it first came out, and it was okay. But I'll talk more about it later. I also played the Diablo 3 trial, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, how was it on console? Like, how did all the menus and stuff feel?
The menus, you know how trials usually have a lot of the menu stuff like blocked off, where you can't access too much stuff like inventory wise. But the control felt pretty nice, and I liked how you were able to dodge or do the roll with the right stick and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it felt pretty fluid, and it's definitely something that if I had the downtime and the cash, like, hey, let me just get a game. I think it would be up there on my list.
Yeah, I mean, Diablo is a good game, especially since you can play it offline, that you can sink a bunch of time into and be fulfilled with it.
Definitely, the multiplayer. It made me really want to play that multiplayer aspect because
the co-op.
Yeah, the co-op harkens back to the days when I used to play Diablo 2, with my brother and stuff.
All right, well, we got a good amount of news. The biggest news, of course, is Grand Theft Auto 5. That's out today, which we talked about. The other big news is GATV.
Oh yeah,
is trending on Twitter, and a lot of people are mad at this because they're like, "Oh my God, you can't spell Grand Theft Auto right. It's GTA 5. Stuff like this. My faith in humanity is gone." What people don't realize is that's actually a pretty smart ploy from Volition for Saints Row. There was a free add-on pack today that's basically GAT 5.
Yeah,
people are confused.
That's pretty.
It's like the top trending thing.
It's pretty funny.
That was really smart of Volition. Like they took that because they were making fun of the genre at this point. Like Grand Theft Auto is like the serious game, and Saints Row is like the game that makes fun of the serious games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that they did that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. GAT 5. Do you know any of the details of like what's in it?
It's basically just like a weapon pack. I think there's a couple of small like side missions and stuff, but it's free, so go pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some Kickstarter news this week. We've been talking a lot about some cool games coming to Kickstarter. A lot of nostalgic games coming, and this game is pretty much part of the course with that. Mutant Football League. It's probably the best thing to happen to football since NFL.
Probably. Game-wise, yeah. And Madden, excluding Madden and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Mutant League was up there. There's like a comic series, a cartoon, which I absolutely adored. I I hated it when I got a little bit older because when I was going to when I went from 5th grade to like 6th grade, like something happened with what time I went to school, and me and my brother would have to miss Mutant League.
Oh.
So we hated it because that was like our favorite cartoon.
I loved how in the cartoon, like, they shoehorned a story into, like, the football games. They're like, oh, we're rivals, and this guy stole this, or, we've got to get these guys, and stuff like that. And then they were like, all right, let's play a football game to resolve it.
Yeah, and the violence was pretty cool for the
Right.
time. People getting their arms ripped off and heads ripped off. It was pretty cool for a school day cartoon.
Right. So the game side of it, which all that stuff is based on, there's actually a spiritual successor on Kickstarter. I guess it really is an actual successor because it's still named Mutant Football League. It's looking for donations. It's really only been open 2 days. What was its goal? Like 750,000.
Yeah.
That's really not too much. I mean, they were up to like 70,000 when we just looked. But it has been 2 days. I'm sure they'll get some big backers
later on down the stretch.
Right. I mean, they're definitely not up to that mighty number 9 level because that mighty number 9 hit 1 million in 2 days.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Which that's actually over 22 million now. So that one made its console stretch goals, current gen, 360 and PS3 and Wii U, I think.
And I haven't even donated yet.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thrown my money in yet. I mean, I've got all of it now, so I'll probably throw I think the minimum it is to get the game like $15 or something, maybe 20 because I think at 20 you get a shirt.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, Mutant Football League, check that out. We'll have it in the show notes. Otherwise, you can go to Kickstarter to look up Mutant Football League. You can actually go on YouTube and watch the old clips of the old episodes. It's pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. The NPD says that just almost as many games playing on mobile as they are on consoles and PC.
I thought this was pretty interesting that mobile is now, I would say, the dominant platform for gaming. A lot of people write off mobile gamers as not true gamers.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be true anymore.
Yeah, you can't really say that anymore. For my job, one of my coworkers brings her son. He's like 7 or 8. On every Friday, she brings him in, and he has like an iPad and he plays Minecraft on it.
Yeah.
He's like playing Minecraft. It's surprising to see how in depth he is into the game and how well it plays. How well it plays on just a flat screen or touch screen, and they're playing regular games on there. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. And I mean, they said one of the biggest contributors is obviously a lot of mobile phones are getting handed down. And even though they're not cell phones anymore, they still work as gaming devices.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like as I was thinking, like I see a lot of kids with like those leapfrogs and iPads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this seems like the way it's going. Like I think that's going to be the casual route, and I think consoles are going to be like the more hardcore, and I think PCs are going to be the super nerds.
Super hardcore.
Until they come out with that Steam box.
Steam box soon.
Here's one for you. Battlefield 4 open beta October 1st for select people and October 4th for everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So those people that had to hunker down and buy Medal of Honor game that came with the beta key.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're finally getting your reward for having to buy that game.
I saw I don't think it was the story that I pulled this from, but somewhere on there they were talking about Battlefield, and they had like the top 5 gifts from Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And one of them was this guy jumps out of a plane, aims a rocket launcher, blows up the side of the building, lands in the building, and then knifes somebody.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, oh, we need a door. Oh, I'll make one.
My favorite ones are the guys that, they're flying in the jets or whatever,
and they loop.
They loop around each other, and one guy jumps out of his jet.
Rockets the other one.
No, he has his regular rifle, and he shoots the guy in the jet, and the guy dies, falls out, and then he gets in his rocket, he lands inside his jet,
the
and
loop.
flies. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's the one. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how people can pull it off. Like, you've got to practice that so much
to
get the timing and stuff right.
You do.
And you have like that nerd moment, like you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened, and then your plane crashes into like a wall or something. Yeah, the other one I think I saw was it was a plane following a helicopter, and of course the plane behind the helicopter should have killed the helicopter pretty easily, but the helicopter like ducked under like a sign on the road, and the plane flew right into the sign. Dang. So,
those planes, man, they're tough.
But Battlefield 4, you can go online and sign up for it. I believe it's going to be all consoles, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox 360.
Yep.
Obviously, no next gen because they're not out yet. Nope. 3D Realms withdrew its lawsuit against Gearbox. This was the Duke Nukem lawsuit that you and I kind of
royalty things.
Kind of said, maybe they should just cut their losses and take what they got.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what they got because literally the statement was like, after reviewing what we got, we're gonna take it.
Yeah.
That was quoted, by the way.
Pretty much. They looked at their evidence and was like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
So Terraria is now out on Android.
So it is now out on everything. The other big Terraria news is the 1.2 update for PC is October 4th. So we might have to jump back into Terraria, just start a whole new game with all the new stuff in it.
That was pretty fun. That was a pretty fun game.
And we could get Nikki in on that. Well, it might be kind of hard with the baby, but
yeah.
we could try. We could try to get Nikki in on that one because that'd be a fun game for multiple people. For sure. And we've got other people that play, like Dave plays, a couple guys from work play. So, sure. BlizzCon, we talked a lot about BlizzCon when they announced the ticket sales and eventually they sold out in like 2 seconds, all 3 days that they were on sale. Well, their virtual tickets available now, so if you can't make it out to Anaheim, you can pay DirecTV and you can watch all the stuff for the low cost of $40. Plus, you get all the benefits of the digital stuff that you would get if you actually got to go to BlizzCon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they usually do like wings for Diablo, like character stuff. They do pets or mounts for World of Warcraft, and they usually do pictures or something for StarCraft. So something for all their games. But it's $40 through DirecTV. That's about it for that one.
BlizzCon. So the Fable anniversary, it's like an HD remake of Fable and the Lost Chapters, I believe.
Right.
It's been pushed back to February 2014.
I was sad about this because this is one of the few games that I was actually looking forward to.
When was it originally supposed to drop?
I think September.
Okay.
So, I think September. So, you can play the Xbox One early at some Microsoft stores. You have to go to Microsoft.com. You can check that out. If you want to really play it, they said they'll have a few select demos on it. One demo actually got recalled. They wouldn't say what game it was, but they basically said that it failed like some of their standards. So one of their launch games may have some problems.
Uh-oh.
They said it was all sound related. They said the game played fine, but the audio was snuffed.
Forza 5 and Killer Instinct, I think, were mentioned.
Two of the launch games, yeah. And those, I think I would imagine they probably want to push Killer Instinct because they want people to buy those $5 characters.
Yeah.
So, sad news. We talked last week about the Vita TV. Well, we're not getting it, and neither is Europe. It seems like it's a Japan-only thing. So, they said no future plans for the U.S.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I wonder the reasoning behind that. I guess I really don't know. I'm not gonna speculate.
Yeah, I maybe they don't think there's a market here for it, or
possibly.
I don't know. I mean, they get a lot of stuff over in Japan that we don't, and now that we're in this like post-internet, Twitter world, everybody knows about everything. Whereas before, if they got something, it was like through the grapevine, they're like, "Oh, did you hear Japan got this?" And we're like, "Oh, well, who wants the 64 double disk drive?"
Yeah.
Nobody needs that. So.
This story was pretty cool. The all-in-one Retron 5 is available for a pre-order on Amazon, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy Advance, Color, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the all-in-one, and I was actually talking to my dad about this one because I saw this story, obviously, and then I put it in the show notes. But FYE sells the older versions, like the 4 and the 3. The cool thing about this is if you have all the old cartridges, most people still have the systems that play them. But the problem with the old systems is they have the old inputs. Like
Yeah.
they were
RF adapters and stuff.
right. Yeah, they were RF at best. I mean,
Yeah.
some of them didn't even go that far. So this actually supports HDMI.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously the games aren't HD,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool that you can hook that up, and it's cool. It's one box. It's $99.99.
Mm-hmm.
Cat's tearing stuff up. And you can pre-order it on Amazon. I don't think they gave a release date yet, so
The only thing that's missing is N64.
that might be a whole nother monster. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either that or Nintendo might still have something on that because they're pushing out 64 games for the 3DS. So, whereas like Super Nintendo and Nintendo, they don't really care too much about it anymore.
Okay. It's almost like, I don't want to say public domain.
Yeah,
You know what I mean.
It's vaporware, like, or shovelware. Like they don't, they will still defend the IPs,
Yeah.
obviously, because most of them are still going on. But the actual systems, I don't think they care about, like the hardware and stuff. So, another IP that we talked a
Speaking
lot
of
about
IPs, yeah.
is Kingdoms of Amalur.
Mhm.
They were shut down last year, and Rhode Island took over the Amalur IP. There was a MMO in development for Amalur. Well, it's going up to auction this month, so if you want the Amalur IP, you can buy it. I might probably not buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough money.
Same here.
Nor, I saw what happened to Kurt Schilling, so I don't think I could do any better. I mean, he won a World Series.
Yeah.
I haven't even been able to get on a baseball mound, so.
Yeah. If I had a couple $1 million, I wouldn't spend it on something. With it.
A Bugatti.
Yeah. So, nah, I'd like buy a movie or make a movie or
Something you can invest in. I was
Yeah.
like, what movie costs $1 million?
What movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I can make a pretty good one.
No, I mean, like you said, you would buy a movie.
Oh.
For $1 million.
That's what I mean.
Not
Or
not Silent Hill Revelations.
I produce $1 million. Let me redact my statements.
There you go. Dishonored Game of the Year edition is sneaking into stores October 8th. I'm very proud of that headline. So,
Yeah.
Uh,
You're a good writer.
not really.
Well,
I'm better than those Silent Hill
Pretty
writers,
good Silent Hill script.
but
That's for
that's
sure.
about it. Silent Hill Revelations, you don't need to see it. If you haven't, don't see it. Save the time. Watch the first one a second time. You'll be better served. But yeah, Game of the Year edition has all the DLC, some extra stuff, some of the pre-order bonuses that were only available through select retailers. October 8th.
Yeah.
If you haven't played it, maybe I could recommend it now for the $60, just because of the fact that
Or 40.
Is it 40?
Yeah, 40.
Well, yeah, for 40, I definitely recommend it because the core game itself is only like 9 hours long, but the DLC is actually another like 9 hours long.
Okay, that's cool.
So for $40, getting straight through, like that was a stealth playthrough. Like I killed people, but I never got caught.
Okay, that's cool.
So 9 hours.
Steam family sharing lets users share their games.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty cool story. Like, you remember how Xbox One was initially talking about how multiple users could play the same game like through live before they canceled all their stuff and changed everything.
Yeah, they did their 180.
Well, Steam basically is doing that, but they're doing it right. Like here's the best way I can give it an example. You and I both have Steam accounts. Say I buy Deadpool. I'm playing Deadpool, and I can share my account out to you, and then you can play Deadpool. There are obviously some restrictions. The restrictions are you can't play it if I'm playing it. If I want to play it, I take control of it. So basically that it gives you a set amount of time to save and then get out of it before it kicks you out. There are certain games that aren't supported. Mostly games that either always require an internet connection or have some kind of outside DRM. So like if you have to go through Ubisoft, like Far Cry, you have to basically launch it from Steam and then go through Ubisoft to play it. Like it basically launches their website and then you play it from there.
Okay.
Stuff like that you won't be able to share. But other than that, like it's free game. So
yeah, that is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, and
Like my brother's on Steam a lot, or
yeah,
used to
like
be.
like Payday's a good example. I don't own Payday, but Payday was one of the examples. Like, say somebody's like, "Oh, you should really play Payday," which we had a couple people that were like, "You should really play Payday," and I was like,
Mhm.
"I don't know, it looks cool, but it's not enough for me to go out and try it." Well, this would be a way for me to go out and try it, and then they could say, "You should buy it so that we can play together," and I'll say, "Yeah, this was really cool.
Mhm.
I will because
Yeah.
I played it and I know it."
Yeah.
So it's almost like an extended demo,
Yeah.
but you can play the whole game theoretically if you want to,
Mhm.
as long as somebody else isn't playing it.
That's pretty cool. It would be cool if something like that happened for consoles.
Xbox was trying to do it and people got mad at it. Like, yeah, I did that the week before they changed everything. I did that whole piece on why the Xbox One stuff was for our benefit.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of good stuff coming out of it. It was just a bad message,
Yeah.
and they changed it. So, uh, unfortunately, we're
Like-
stuck in
like-
another generation of
It's like,
consoles that
you can't have it anymore.
yeah, basically that's what it was. They got so mad. They're like, fine, it's the same as it was. You can't have anything new. This is why we can't give you nice stuff. So, but Steam on the other hand is like, well, I mean, we're already on PC, so people have to deal with that anyway. So, might as well try it.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. That Gabe
Yeah.
knew well.
Yeah, he
He
is.
just can't count to
He
three.
is. No, he can't. No, he can't. He should. I'm about to say he should take over at Microsoft. They're still looking for somebody, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think
He should join them and then like merge.
that would be like one Uber company.
The government would step in.
Well, the other Uber company, Apple, released the iPhone information. The other big news is Infinity Blade 3 will launch alongside the iPhone 5S on September 20th. We
So
talked
it's
a little
gonna
bit.
come with the iPhone.
No, it's just
Okay.
coming out the same day,
Okay.
but it will require the new operating system, and obviously the iPhone 5S is optimized for it, which means that I'll probably get it on mine and it'll play like crap. So, but Infinity Blade's probably one of my favorite mobile games because it is just the controls are so simple, but the gameplay is like so in depth that I would probably rank it up there top 5 easily.
Okay.
So Plants vs Zombies still probably my favorite. Just tower defense.
Better than Angry Birds.
Yeah. I mean I liked Angry Birds, but I was never fanatical about it.
Okay.
So I mean
You wouldn't buy the T-shirts and
no, and even the games like the gameplay is good. Like the Star Wars one I really liked. Like the Star Wars one was probably my favorite because there was a lot more strategy involved in it. But the other one, the one based on the pigs, the bad piggies, that's actually a much better game. Like basically what that one is you're the pigs and it gives you like a set of building blocks and you have to find a way to build a contraption that will get you through the level. So it's much more open ended. There's a lot more. It's a lot less luck and a lot more. This will do this type of thing. So yeah, I actually like that one much better.
Cool.
So all right, so we got some reviews.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna wing it.
you've got Fuse. Fuse is a
Third-person shooter co-op. It's a straight co-op based game. Basically, it takes place. Oh, cool! We got some video.
yes we do.
There's 4 characters you can play as. There's Izzy. I mean, their names aren't really important. 2 chicks and 2 dudes. And the premise is that there's an alien technology that was recovered in 1947. They're obviously alluding to Roswell, but without really saying it. And that technology was used to create these special weapons. And those weapons, there's like like a shield weapon that can hold enemies off, and you can hold it up and keep them from shooting you, but you can shoot at them. There's a weird warp gun that can like create a black hole and suck your enemies into. I like the character that's being played right here, Izzy. She has a shatter gun, which basically shoots a whole bunch of pellets that, if you shoot into a crowd, it can cause the enemies to like turn into like stone or whatever, which is pretty cool. And the other guy he just shoots bolts. Like the two women in the game They have the shatter gun and the warp gun. Those are the two best weapons.
Oh, okay.
You know, so the guys kind of suck. So as I played through the game, you know, I had played through one level. I think there's 6 levels total. I played through one level as each character, and I just played the last 2 levels as the redhead because she had the coolest gun, in my opinion. The warp gun was pretty cool with the other chick, but I just like the.
Now it's co-op design. Like
it's straight like it's designed to be online all the way through from beginning to end. It has that feel like you feel like you're alone if you're playing it by yourself, and that's my one criticism that I had the first time when I played the demo. Just like felt like an empty, soulless game,
right?
Because it was missing that element. And since it was a game that was designed to be online, I can kind of forgive it for that. You know, that it had that emptiness to it. The story wasn't all that, nothing to cry home about, but it's just, you know, you get into a room, you find some enemies, you shoot them all and kill them.
Now it looks like there's like an XP progression.
Yeah, you can, when you kill enemies and stuff like that, you gain XP and you can level up your powers to your guns and stuff like that. So, say you can
light RPG aspect to it.
Little light stuff like that. What else is there to this game? The graphics were okay.
Yeah, they don't look bad.
Yeah. Nothing to cry home about, but really, it was a fun run and gun. You know, you can turn off your mind and just blast through it. Like I thought it would have a little bit more sci-fi to it. That's why I was interested in looking into the game a little bit more and like let me force myself to play it. And at the end, it wasn't really like I was forcing myself to play. It was enough to hold me without like how it is with Final Fantasy 13, where I really feel like I'm forcing myself to play.
Oh, okay.
So this game was everything that Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City should have been.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, this seems like very much a similar game, except aliens versus instead of zombies.
Yeah, it's well, actually no, you're just fighting people.
Oh, really?
There's no aliens. I mean, it's alien tech, but there's no aliens. They did have a little tease at the end. I was like, you know, there might be a possible sequel.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, I'd be interested. This is a game that I would like to play through more online. The AI was pretty dumb. You know, they didn't help out as much. Like when I got into dicey situations, it wasn't very. It got frustrating at times. So and
they'd let you bleed out. And
yeah, they'd let me bleed out, or you know, it was very frustrating. For the last level, I did jump on Xbox Live, and I got a little bit of help from somebody just because I knew it was going to be too much just to do alone.
All right.
But all in all, I'd give the game a 7.5 out of 10.
That's not bad.
You know, it's not a bad game. It's just a game that, you know, it's a game that should be played with other people. If you had 4 people playing this game, you could have a lot of fun.
All right. That's pretty cool. I mean, from what I saw, it looked pretty good. Like the graphics, I had no complaints there. Like it seemed like the typical, you know, third person shooter type game. The cover mechanics seem pretty sound.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, after playing Tomb Raider, I've been spoiled by the simplicity the game gave with its cover system, where you just walk up to a ledge if you're in a fight or an edge or something like that, and your character automatically, or Lara automatically went into cover. This game was a little, you know.
I'm having that problem with Grand Theft Auto because Grand Theft Auto has a cover system now.
Okay.
And they retooled all the aiming and stuff, but the cover system, you have to hit a button to get in, and you don't have to hit it to get out, but it's much easier to get out of cover if you do hit the button. And I'm having a lot of trouble because like I want to get in cover and I just run up to it, and then you know I get shot.
Yeah, so. I think Tomb Raider really set the bar, and I hope more games start adopting that combat mechanic, because I think the combat in Tomb Raider that came out earlier this year was like probably some of the best combat.
The soft cover.
It really worked well. So in this game, you know, I'm trying to like hit a button to get into cover, and it's a little hokey sometimes.
All right.
But 7.5.
Yeah. That's not bad. Now, is it out for all systems, Xbox, PS3?
360 and PS3, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. So, Fuse, you said you picked it up pretty cheap, like $10.
Like, yeah.
So,
I think it was like 8.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
Fuse. From Insomniac. They used to do Spyro.
Oh. Now it's Skylanders. Alright, so my review is what I've been promising you for 2 weeks. I finally got to sit down and play a good bit of it. I didn't hit max level like I wanted to, but it really turns into uh, a slog as you get into like the upper 30s, early 40s, which is I never made it to early 40s. I'm still in upper 30s. But Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. It's a relaunch of Final Fantasy XIV. They've basically changed everything. It is a new game. Like the story continues off of 14, but other than that, all the mechanics are different. The story's different. The first thing I will say is it is a traditional MMO. Like here, I'll make it a little bigger so we can see it. There we go. There's a little better.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it is traditional hotkey MMO. You have targets, you have spells, you have your holy trinity, you have a tank, a healer, some DPS, stuff like that. Damage, basically tank, healer, damage. I say DPS because I'm so ingrained in the MMO.
Damage per second.
Yeah, but damage and from there basically you can choose a class, a level, and that's what you start at. That chooses where you start. It's not restricted by race like it was in 11, but it does restrict you to the town. Like Lancers start in one town, Gladiators start in another, and there is some overlap. Like Lancers and Archers start in the same town. So, but overall, I mean, the game, graphics-wise, looks amazing. Like, I tried it on my laptop on low settings. It looks good. It runs good. I've tried it on my desktop at max settings. It looks amazing and runs good. So they really fixed a lot of the optimization problems. They don't force you to party like they did in 11. You can do a lot of stuff solo.
Cool.
But like any MMO, like what you're seeing here, the true essence is group stuff. And they're actually fighting Ifrit right now. Like
That's pretty
is
cool. Yeah, I saw the fire and I was like,
Yeah, this is actually the high end version of it, the hard mode. You actually fight Ifrit really early in the story. As easy mode, you only do it as 5-person. Now this is actually a bigger group, and like I said, this is hard mode, so this is like end game stuff.
Okay.
But the story is basically all the primals, which are Ifrit, Shiva.
Okay.
Basically, all the summons are bad guys, and they're trying to get their power up to take over the world. So of course you're the adventurer. You go along your way. You try to stop them, and it wraps into your story. And you actually have two concurrent stories. You have like the overarching world narrative, and then you also have a class story. Like I picked monk. Well, I picked pugilist into monk because you start as one class and eventually develop into like the more traditional Final Fantasy jobs. But like the world story is obviously with the primals, but my class story revolved around the like master monk and how he has kind of lost his mojo. Like he's had a rocky moment and he's kind of old and decrepit, and you're trying to get him back to the where he was. So it's kind of cool that you have that. Sound wise, the music is amazing. It's not Uberu Mayamasu, but it is still
Pretty
Final
good.
Fantasy. Like I'd say it's much better than 13, and it's way better than 12. I mean, I didn't like 12's music at all.
Yeah, 12 kind of.
The combat in this game is actually pretty cool. It's much slower than MMOs, like traditional MMOs. Mostly because most MMOs have like what they call a cooldown in between abilities of about a second, whereas this one is actually like 3 seconds. So it's a much slower pace, but it allows you time to think and plan and stuff like that. I've actually really enjoyed it. Like coming off of games like World of Warcraft and all the other hotkey MMOs. World of Warcraft's obviously the big one. I did enjoy the combat a lot. I have to say that for people new to MMOs, this probably isn't a good game to start with because it is very user unfriendly in the terms of as soon as you're like 15, it expects you to know what to do and how to do it. Like World of Warcraft, you can really do whatever you want and not really fail until you get to the max level.
Okay.
Even in dungeons and stuff. As long as you're a healer and you're throwing some kind of healing spells, you're fine. But just to give you an idea, you fight Ifrit the first time when you're like level 15, and all your party members have to know what they're doing, or you just will not beat him.
The learning curve is pretty
Yeah,
steep.
it is very unforgiving. Like I'm an MMO veteran. Like I've been playing MMO since Ultima Online, and there is still stuff in here that I'm like, wow, I can't believe they expect people to know this stuff this quick. So they hold nothing back, and some people like that. Like there's a good crowd for that. But that would be like my downside to this game is the steep learning curve, and it doesn't really explain anything to you. The other downside I found is in the story, they expect you to do dungeons. Like you have to do dungeons to progress the story, so you have to queue up for them. And the queues right now are like ridiculous. They're like 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
So like I hit a point where there was like a 1.5 week where I said I couldn't progress because I just didn't have that much time to wait. And then the dungeons themselves are like an hour long. So that's something you got to be aware of. Is it will be a good time investment even while leveling, whereas other MMOs like Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft, stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff you can do just by logging on and going to do it. You don't have to wait for anything. So it kind of retains that Final Fantasy 11 stuff like it used to. But overall, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, just because there is a lot of fresh stuff in here, and I mean it's Final Fantasy and it looks amazing. Like the story, even though it's an MMO, the story is still better than 13.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's probably why I can't manage that game.
Yeah.
I really want to, but
now this is what you're watching here. Like I said, is a big group party. It's like a raid, 10-man raid. So I haven't gotten to experience that yet, but the 4-man and 5-man stuff that I have done has actually been really fun. Like the group stuff is really fun. It's just hard.
Oh.
So yeah, 9 out of 10. In terms of MMOs, the good news I guess I can say is they finally resumed digital sales today. Now they had all that server problems, and that's gone. I didn't mention that just in my score just because it's not an issue anymore. We'll see after they resume sales if it becomes an issue again. But you can buy the game now online. So
pretty cool.
Final Fantasy 14. That being said, I probably won't ever play it again because Grand Theft Auto 5 is out, and I don't know.
You know what game is also out? I think Kingdom Hearts Remastered.
Yeah, it came out earlier this month.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I saw that the other day, and I purposely was like, I don't want to buy it because, that game would eat a lot of time.
Yeah, the remaster I'm really looking forward to is the Final Fantasy X one.
I could get behind 10 and 10 too. The big thing about the Kingdom Hearts one is it includes Kingdom Hearts and all the stuff we didn't get for 1.
Yeah.
Then Chains of Memory, and then it also includes the 358 over 2.
Okay.
But it's not a game. It's just all the story. So I actually want to see how that plays out, because like Kingdom Hearts has always kind of fell back on its gameplay, and the story was always kind of confusing. So I'm actually interested to watch just the story and see like how much I enjoy it. Like I want to watch those. It's basically like a movie. It's like a 2-hour movie.
Okay, like all the cutscenes or whatever.
Right. So
that's cool.
And I want to see if it can hold up on its own if you don't have the gameplay to support it. And then if I don't like it, I can always go back and just play one. And
Yeah.
No deal of the week this week. Really, there's not much going on. I mean, you can get there's like a Humble Bundle going on right now with like Fez and Mark of the Ninja. Those are always popular. But really, there was some good Steam sales last week. Unfortunately, they're expired. So that's the kind of downside going on Tuesday is the Steam midweek sale hasn't started and the weekend sales are over. And unless there's something really good in like an ad, it's hard to find stuff. And since Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, nobody's really pushing a sale because they know people are going to buy Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, that's so true.
There was actually a sign online of a video game store somewhere, like a private video game store, which I didn't know existed. Kratos, could you stop taking over Los Santos? It's like Godzilla.
Yeah.
But the private video game store had a sign that said, "We will be closed Tuesday because we will be playing Grand Theft Auto, and we know everybody or Wednesday
Okay.
because they wanted to be open Tuesday to sell, but there's like Wednesday because we'll be playing Grand Theft Auto, and so will everybody else. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, so last week I didn't tally up our results. I will have to, but this we have to do the football pick.
Okay.
So I didn't do last week's results. I will tally those up and see who is ahead. I do know there were some games that we both picked horribly wrong.
Yeah, we did.
There were some games that you picked really right. Like you picked
the Chiefs.
You picked don't talk about the Chiefs. You picked the Chiefs, but you also picked Miami over Indianapolis, which I know I picked Indianapolis. So the video game portion of the show is done. I am going to let the page load up and get a drink. And then we will go through our picks for the football of this week. Wait, what's going on? Oh, NFL's getting fancy with their website.
Yeah, very taxing.
Okay. So we'll tally it up and we'll see who's ahead right now. But we'll go ahead and pick for next week. Thursday's night games: Chiefs versus Eagles. You gonna stick with the Chiefs?
You know what? I don't know. I do like the way the Eagles are playing though, so I'm gonna pick Eagles.
This is Andy Reid's old team versus Andy Reid's current team.
Yeah, he's coming into their house. He would like to make a statement, but I'm gonna stick with the Eagles.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs, because they beat us last week, so I'm mad about that. But I honestly think Alex Smith is looking pretty good.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
totally forgot about that. That changes.
He made a statement in Dallas like, "Oh, you running back quarterbacks want to run? Like, let me show you how to do it." And then he got like 35 yards on like one.
Wow.
Run. They were just talking about it on SportsCenter that he has more rushing yards than the whole Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Wow.
So,
yeah, they don't have a running back. That's right. Yeah, well, I mean, they have a running back, but
they have a guy in that position.
Yeah, they have a guy in that position. Exactly.
So I'm gonna go with Chiefs. You're picking Eagles.
I'll pick Eagles.
All right. So Sunday, Texans versus Ravens. I know who you're picking.
I'm picking the Ravens, even though. Look, I think Ray Rice is hurt now. Our team is beat up, and our receiving core is, they're kind of there, then they're not. Well, two of the players are there, but if you cover them, then you're pretty much screwed.
I'm going for Texans because you just said your big problem is your offense, and Texans, their defense looked unstoppable.
That'll be a tough game. I don't like it when the Ravens lose at home. This is a game that when I looked at the schedule, when the schedule came out earlier this year, I was like, that game might be a tough one. Right. I never like going against the Texans, but you know what? I'm gonna pick Ravens. I'm just gonna stick with my team.
Nikki's taking her picks too. She says Chiefs and Texans.
Okay.
So she's right there with me so far. All right, Giants versus the Panthers.
I'm gonna pick the Panthers.
I'm gonna pick the Panthers too.
Yeah.
Eli, his team is not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after the Manning Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki picks the Panthers too. So we're all in the Cam Newton box. So yeah, I want to see Giants go 0-3, just for the sheer fact of watching someone in our division go 0-3.
Yeah.
And it be the Giants. Lions versus Redskins.
I don't want to see the Redskins go to 0-3, but I think it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna pick the Lions.
I'm gonna pick the Lions too because I think the Redskins have a good team, but I think they're gonna have the same problem that they've had the first 2 games. I mean, they've given up over 1,000 yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
And Reggie Bush was hurt, but I think he'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's still looking really good. So
Redskins don't have a defense.
Yeah, and
their offense takes too long to get warmed up.
All right, so we have the 2014 Super Bowl Chargers.
That's right.
Versus the Titans.
I'm gonna go with Titans.
I'm gonna go Chargers. I'm gonna ride this Chargers Super Bowl train into the ground. Now they did win the other day.
They did.
In the last seconds. So Titans did look really good. Like they're surprising this year. But I think the Chargers may have that one.
Yeah.
Cardinals versus Saints. Nobody cares. Like why even pick it? But I'm still gonna say the Saints.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Saints.
Buccaneers and Patriots.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I hate Tom Brady, but I'm gonna say Patriots.
Who's their quarterback again? That's Tannehill, or is that no? Tannehill's the. I'll say Patriots. They're at the Patriots.
Yeah, and it's the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So
I want to pick an upset.
Yeah. Packers versus the Bengals.
Hmm.
Packers. I mean,
your guys are gonna pick the Packers, so I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
I had to pick the Packers for that one just for the sheer fact that Nikki says I suck up to her, and I'm sure that's part of it. But they just look so convincing against Washington. Like, if they can carry that over, they're unstoppable.
I'm gonna pick the Bengals. They did look good against Pittsburgh, but it was Pittsburgh. So, and they did the first game that they lost. That was kind of an upset where they let their lead go away. So I'm gonna pick the Bengals. I think they are a good team. They are in my division. I'm a little worried about them. It'll be that would be a good game.
Cowboys versus Rams. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'd pick them too.
Yeah, I mean, we have our problems. Like we lost to the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are showing that they are not last year's team. Alex Smith has kind of turned that around, but the Rams are still last year's team. So I think we have a good, legitimate shot at that. Browns versus Vikings.
You know what? I'm gonna pick the Browns.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying. I need to make our things a little different.
I was gonna pick the Browns too.
Oh wow.
Nikki's going with the Vikings.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Browns because the Vikings are 0-2 and they're not looking too hot.
And so I think the Browns aren't the Browns 0-2?
Maybe.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. So there's a team that's gonna be going 0-3. Wow.
Yeah, Nikki has to go against the Vikings because they're.
Oh yeah.
Falcons versus Dolphins.
I'm gonna go with Dolphins.
I'm gonna go with Falcons.
Okay.
I think Matt Ryan still wants to win.
Yeah. See, I think my hope is that the AFC East, I believe, that's the Patriots, right?
Yes.
That's their division. I hope there's going to be a change in that division, and if there's going to be a change in like a passing of the torch,
the hierarchy.
Yeah, it's going to be the Dolphins, and I think with Tom Brady's having no receivers anymore, did you hear about how he totally he didn't cuss out his receivers?
He cried at them.
Yeah, he was getting really frustrated with them. I really think the Dolphins. This is the Dolphins' chance to get up there. They got the running back or whatever.
They've got a whole new offense. So, Bills versus Jets. I'm gonna go with Bills because they had that clutch win in the last 3 seconds of the last game.
That's true. I'll pick the Jets. I'll just pick the Jets.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I'll just pick the Jets.
I have to note that we're looking on NFL's website and they have the wrong Bills logo. They
do, don't they?
Yeah, because the Bills have that red logo now.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they have both logos, it could be both. So they do have that sometimes where they have both logos. Colts versus Niners. I'm gonna go Colts just because of the fact that I don't want to see Kaepernick win.
Yeah, I don't want to see him win either. I'll pick the Colts too. I liked him losing the other night. That was a very nice loss.
Oh, Nikki's picking the Niners.
Wow.
She put aside her differences to say that they are gonna stop Andrew Luck. Luck has run out, and his name is Kaepernick.
The luck stops here.
Yes. Jaguars versus Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks.
I do like that team.
They stomped Kaepernick. They shamed him.
Yeah.
He lost his goatee because it pushed him back through puberty.
They held him. They held him to his team to a field goal.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet.
So yeah, I'm going Seahawks. I mean, it's the Jaguars. Did you see the tweet from it was the Florida TV station where they're like, just so you know, we are required to play all Jaguar games. Sorry. Because there were people that wanted to watch the Manning Bowl, but they had to watch the Oakland Jaguar game.
That's sad.
So
That's pretty sad.
yeah, like the people in Florida don't want to watch it.
That sucks. So Bears at Steelers.
Bears.
I'm picking the Bears too. They.
I mean, come on. The Steelers have no offense. Like Ben
Mhm.
Roethlisberger is basically just a big target.
Mm-hmm. Even though it's hard to get him down,
The Bears.
but he can't scramble like RG3 could. Get a whole bunch of yards. He can't be their running back.
Right.
So I'm gonna pick the Bears. I want the Bears to win that game. I want to see the Steelers go to 0-3.
See, Nikki doesn't want the Bears to win, but she's still gonna pick them because she knows they're probably gonna win.
No. And then there's okay for this next game.
Like I can't.
last night on last night's Monday night game, they just showed the two logos for the two teams for next so next week, and who's the other guy who's with Gruden? John Gruden. Who's the other guy with John Gruden? The black guy. He was there. He's like, they just looked at, you could just see them look at each other like this is gonna be an interesting game, but it's Raiders at Broncos. They just shared a look.
Nikki's talking to you.
Oh wait.
That whole team needs to go. Steelers, I mean.
Oh yeah. I don't like the Steelers. I want to see them lose.
Yeah.
I just want them to lose.
The Monday night game that we're making fun of is the Raiders, at
Broncos.
At the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
To say that the Broncos are the heavy favorite would be like a huge understatement. Mm-hmm. That is like saying a crippled woman is the heavy underdog in a boxing match with Mike Tyson.
It's yeah.
That is how this is. I mean, the Raiders, I hate to say it, but the Raiders don't if they pull this off, I will redact all of this.
Yeah. That would be fun to watch. And there'd be a lot of turnovers
and just for that I am going to pick the Raiders. Because you guys can pick the Broncos and win, but I am going to win the Underdog of the Year award if they win. So I am picking the Raiders.
Yeah. That would be an amazing game. It's so funny. John Gruden and the other guy, they were just trying to think of good things to say about the other team. I can't even think of the quarterback, man. Something Tyler or something like that.
Yeah. Did you see the quarterback? Did you read the quarterback chat, like the Facebook quarterback chat? They make fun of him in it. They're like, I think it's Peyton Manning, but he's like, hey Oakland, I hear you guys got a sweet new running back. And the guy's like, actually I'm the quarterback. Peyton's like, I've seen you throw. You're a running back.
Oh boy. But yeah, that's gonna be a snoozer probably.
It'll either be like, we need to start our fantasy league so I can draft Peyton Manning this week because he is going to win me the season in that game, or the Raiders are going to win the season. So
that would be interesting.
But I'm going with the Raiders. I'm just that's my long shot of the week.
Okay.
What was your long shot? Your long shot was.
What was my long shot?
Yeah, I guess.
My long shot of the week was Ravens.
That's sad. Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's our picks.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tally up next week, and then I will write down this week.
Okay.
So, but there we go.
Cool.
We need to have a prize at the end of this. You and Nikki need to sit down and have a prize. Maybe we shouldn't count last week because Nikki didn't make picks last week. So maybe starting with this week, we'll go from here forward.
Okay.
And maybe we'll have a prize at the end of it. We'll have to think of something.
Okay.
We'll have an on-screen presentation
ceremony.
Yes.
Picks of the week.
Where we can thank the quarterbacks, thank stuff like that. So
that'd be cool.
You cannot make last week's pick now. You cannot pick I pick things.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Yes. Packers, Chiefs, Ravens. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's our show. Maybe we should still do Monday nights just to do the football picks.
Okay.
Just because we won't have a whole lot of time to do actual shows.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do the football picks.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, sit down quick. Maybe we can get Nikki involved. the baby. The baby can take whichever one she spits up on. So, all right. So let me pull this up so I can transition. Wow, my hair came down. So we look good at the end.
Cut mine.
All right. So see you next week. That was like the worst outro ever.
They're trying to restart on me.
Saw the mic on. Oh,
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.